I was so stupid in love. Do you know I even confronted the guy to leave the lady for me? Man told me where he lives. Mjinga mimi, I took myself there. I found my girlfriend in that house. Found her there. Comfortably seated.
What about the wife?
The wife was not living with the guy. Like, they're married, but everyone works in different towns. So they used to meet maybe over the weekends. Kitu kama hii. I overheard her akiambia that neighbor, mama wangu unajua unaweza ua.
Okay.
So it looked so casual. It looked like a joke, but I wish we took it seriously at that time.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of It Happened to Me. And today we have an interesting conversation lined up for you. My name is Jambi Gaido. And before that, please make sure you subscribe, share, comment, and send this interview to your friends for them to learn and engage with us. Without further ado, allow me to introduce our guest, or rather, let him introduce himself. Asante sana for being here.
Thank you.
Karibu.
Asante. My real names are Samuel Mbivi Mulavo, but on socials I'm known as the Vulnerable Man. Yes.
So why the vulnerable man?
I've had a couple of questions based on that. The vulnerable man is not just about you being weak. It's not about you being intimidated by what happened or any episode that happens in your life. But the word vulnerable actually has a lot of meanings. But sometimes people tend to pick whatever they feel is easy for them or what they can easily use to address their issue. But according to why I chose that name, it signifies that women can actually talk about our weaknesses, can talk about what really happened to us, and then people will get to understand us better and actually get to know how to handle us better as we move on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you now for sharing where the word vulnerable came from, and that will form the basis of the conversation we have today.
Okay.
Because we have an understanding that you are a paraffin burn survivor.
Sure.
And that is why we are here today.
Sure.
So thank you so much for choosing to tell your story.
Thank you.
Choosing to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for that. So let's just get into the story. Tell us, first of all, a very maybe introduction of who you are, what you do. Now, you've told us your names, but tell us what you do.
Okay.
Yeah, before now we get to the story.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a marketer by profession. I'm currently dealing with agrochemicals. I'm in charge of Kenya currently, where I'm working in. So I have an 8 to 5. That's what I'm trying to say. Leave alone what I do on the social media.
Yeah.
I also engage myself in different groups, especially for charity. Whereby I get to talk to people, we get to go to children's homes, we contribute funds, we collect clothing, basically things that you are not currently using or you need them. So normally take them to different types of people that we meet across through the forums that we have.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. So now let's get into the story. Tell us about this fateful day and what happened.
Yeah. I've told this story over and over. Initially, I used not to totally talk about it. I felt a lot of stigma, a lot of trauma. Like I had not healed, but basically it was on 17th of October. The year was 2012. That is around 14 years ago. The girl that my ex, my then ex, we were living together. And something just happened that changed completely the meaning of life to me, the meaning of love, and the meaning of a lot of things that I really treasured into. When I go back to the background or where I was raised, I'm raised from a background that wasn't well off. And it was very violent. It was very, not an environment that you'd like to actually grow into. But all in all, we had to pursue and get to where we are today. I used to see how my parents were living, but I wanted to live a different kind of a life. All through my high school life, I never had a girlfriend. And I'm not saying that I never had a girlfriend,
Yeah.
but just the people that you could meet during events, just say hi and all that, but not someone you feel attached to even have a real relationship with them. I was not that focused on education myself. I was just there, So masomo ni ile uko tu, pass, it's okay. But now after school, I met this girl, and then I felt like I had a connection with her.
So that was immediately after high school?
High school, yes, that was immediately after high school. Just a few, let me say like a few months, 6-8 months, and I knew the girl through a friend. And that friend is not actually a high school friend or a primary school friend, just someone we met in Nairobi, and I came to Nairobi and we kind of became friends easily because we used to hustle together. So I knew the girl through this guy. So when we got introduced, I felt like I can start something with her. And then we were connecting easily because of our backgrounds. Again, we could talk about our families. We could talk of high school life. We were connecting easily through events and episodes that probably happened in our lives. And then I don't know whether it was sympathy or what, we fell in love. And I took things seriously because I told myself that the girl that I will ever fall in love with the first time will be my wife. Like, nishaamua. Little did I know.
Yeah. I wish I knew.
I wish I knew. So it was not an easy thing, but we moved in together. I had like a small job that I was doing that could actually sustain both of us.
What was she doing then?
She wasn't working, so she was kind of living with auntie, but then they had issues, and so she would crash at my place sometimes she's at auntie's place, but it got to a point where by now she permanently moved in with me now.
Sure.
And just being a good man, I introduced her to my parents.
Oh, how long after now dating?
That was 6 months after dating. Yeah, it looks funny, right?
We listen and we don't judge.
So my parents were like, yeah, if you decided that, but don't forget you still have to go back to school. You have to do your campus education. We know you're hustling. We don't have the financial capacity 100% to keep you in school. But if you can manage to work and go to school and manage your family, then we have no problem. We'll support you. So I got the approval of my parents actually.
How old were you?
I was 20. Young and stupid.
I get it.
You think everything revolves about love. You're reading, what do you call pesetas. You're reading novels, and you feel that,
that's the kind of love you want.
Exactly.
And you think that is what you're going for.
Exactly. And you want to begin it early. I had not enjoyed my youthful life at all. So I didn't know that she had some other hidden agendas, or she was not into me, actually. I think I was just there to provide. I was just a stepping stone for her to get to where she wanted to be. So these are some of the red flags that I never saw. These are some of the things that I never even guessed. Because I was so in love to a point of, even if you tell me she did something wrong, I would deny. Yeah, I would 100% deny.
You don't know her like I do.
Yeah, that's the point. So she had another man behind the scenes. That man, me sikuwa namjua. So I could hear neighbors tell me, but I was blinded to a point of I couldn't see or understand or even tell myself there is an element of truth in this story that my neighbors are telling me, including my friend mwenye alifanya tujuane na udem. So I completely couldn't understand how that is happening. One, she was my first love. So I feel that mtu mwenye nimependa hizi kufanyia kitu kama hii. And I had made it in my mind, like I said earlier, that huyu ni wangu na ni wangu na ni wangu. Nothing is going to change that. So when I started now doing my own little just investigations, snoopy and all that now, we were using one phone. And it was a Mulika Mwezi. So when I come from work, she would now insert a SIM card and then she makes her calls, she chats with her. Because me nimeshinda na simu the whole day. So to me, I've done whatever I needed to do with the phone. So now it's hard. It's a time. But she used to forget to delete messages. So she deletes some of the messages still remain. So now I would go and I'm like, You see, now you don't have an history of that chat. So you just come to pump in into one message. You're like, it is not easy to connect on the other story or the other messages how it came to be. Then unalenga. Because I was stupid. I don't know. I don't have the right word to use.
I just think you are in love. Stupid is a really strong word, I'd say. Let's say you were just in love.
Yeah, I was
and
just
the
in
things we
love.
do for love.
Sure. So one time, she chatted that time, that guy, okay, I don't know which word to use, with my SIM card. And then this guy felt like, oh, during the day, and as I'm chat, the SIM card. This guy one day called me and I was working. I was at work. I used to be a bartender, actually, at a club in Syokimau. Because we had actually now moved from Pipeline area and then we went to Syokimau so that it is near to my workstation. So that I'm actually cutting on cost in terms of transport. And then sometimes you leave late, you cannot get a matatu coming through that route, you know. So we had now to move in closer to that area. So one day this guy calls me while I'm at work. So I ignored the calls because it was a new number. And you're like, I'll return that call later. But then I'm like, I don't have even enough money to call because by then airtime was expensive. To make a call within 1 minute was very expensive. And then after like a few minutes, the guy calls again. So I pick and then it's like, hi, where is so and so? I'm like, okay, who is this?
Who are you?
And why are you asking? He's like, oh, she told me by the way she lives with a cousin. I guess now you're the cousin. And then I'm like, so nile umeshtuka. Okay, I don't know. I didn't want either to hurt the feelings za huyu jamaa.
Why?
Or I was just too skeptical to a point of wacha tu ni let go his
So ulimwambia
story.
nini?
So I was like, I'm not a cousin. And it was like, no. Aliniambia naishi na cousin yake na anaitwa Samuel. Of course my name is Samuel. And I'm like, does she have any other Samuel cousin that I don't know?
That she lives. Okay, so you're the person.
So now I'm the person because she's living with me, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently the guy alikuwa amedanganya. But the guy, come to think of it later and come to... I think I was so stupid in love. Do you know I even confronted the guy to leave the lady for me? I even met the guy one moment and told him like, dude.
So what happened after now he called?
So when he called, I told him she's not around me, but what? I'll give her the phone later
When I go back
home. He's like, okay. So when I get home, I just ask her, who is so and so? Just a friend that anisumbuanga tu. So I'm like, but he said that you live with a cousin and I don't think we are related by blood in any way. So she's like, we anakuanga hivyo. So she's trying now to evade the story by creating another story.
Narrative,
So now that's when I became like, now I wanted to know everything. Now tell me exactly what is going on. Now I'm trying to connect with the stories that I've been hearing and
so
all
now
that.
Everything starts making sense.
Now everything now starts to make sense. The calls, the late night chats, you know, I hear there's someone who comes to my place when I leave. That is before now we moved to Syokimau, that area. So now the stories now start to make sense. And then she's like, no, hakuna kitu kama hiyo. You know, she tried to be convincing me. I'm like, okay. So one day I'll get to know the truth. So now the chats continued, the calls continued, but one day, niliamka nikasema no, enough is enough. And I called the guy and I told him, by the way, this girl is not my cousin.
No, she's not my cousin.
We are dating. And then the guy is like, me, I don't care. I'm married and I don't care.
So the guy is married, but he wants you.
Exactly. And I don't care. I told the guy, no, I think we need to talk man to man.
One to one.
At 20 years and I'm talking to a person who is over 28 years old.
Gosh. And he's married.
And he's married. Unfortunately, the girl did not come home that night. So she told me she had gone to her auntie's place.
So did you meet this man now after you told him?
The man told me where he lives. Mjinga mimi, I took myself there. I found my girlfriend in that house. Found her there. Comfortably seated.
What about the wife?
The wife was not living with the guy. Like, they're married, but everyone works in different towns. So they used to meet maybe over the weekends. Kitu kama hii.
Kapata mtu wako na mtu wake.
Hata mtu wangu na mtu wake.
Gosh, I'm sorry.
And that time you feel you want to talk, then there's something blocking your trachea. You feel you want to talk, but umeongea, but hizo words hazijatoka. We sit down for like 5 minutes and I'm like, is it worth me being in this house? Is it worth for me to have this conversation? I've already been betrayed. Yeah. But I'm still pushing because I feel I need this girl. But what was her reaction? She was very comfortable. Like, hakuna kitu amedu mbaya. Like, sini life. And then I saw the guy, dude, I think I don't belong. Then he's like, msichana wako ndo ananitakaga. I don't know what. So I was like, mimi hata sitaki kujua anything more. And I left. Just left nikaenda. So I called my friend. He came over, tukaongea. So nile unaongeleshwa, you feel that watu bado wananidanganya. You know, she will still come back to me. You know, that first love, you've given it all. You feel that you should not give up. I'm too young, you know. There are a lot of things that were going through my mind as at that time. She comes weird hours. Then we have an argument. In terms of...
The same day?
Yeah, the same day. So they come early morning. You betrayed me, you've done this, you know, we have that argument, I don't want you anymore. So we're having that conversation. And then she's like, me, I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like,
so why
just
is she here?
pick whatever belongs to you here, just leave. And then she's like, actually, that's what brought me here. I'm like, okay, then that is better. That is better. So we argue. I'm like, acha tenala kidogo. Nimepumzika mimi. Mpaka around saa 4 asubuhi. She's still in there. So naamka ile na hasira, I'm like, no, you need to go. Because nataka kufunga nyumba yangu mimi niende job. Because I am seeing there's no future here between you and I. Haiko anymore. So she's like, you know, even Edwin, that guy was called Edwin. I still remember the names. My problem is I have a very photographic memory in mind. Like, I can forget you, but your mind will, your image will still remain with me. So Edwin doesn't want me anymore. I don't know what. Ati nilimchomea. I don't know, nilimdanganya. Sijui nini. I'm like, but initially Edwin has been your guy. So mbona anakuacha? He was ready for you. Anyway, mistaki story to me. You just leave. Then she's like, you know, I can't go back to my auntie. Sijui nini. I'm like, sasa, kama unajua huwezi rudi kwa your auntie, you knew that we had a thing. Si ungekaa tu hapa hata kama ulikosea auntie yako, find a way and go and apologize later, you know, then become a family again. So like, I cannot even go back Charles kwa wazazi wangu, sijui nini. Anyway, I tell her, mimi, that is none of my business. You just need to go. I used to cook with a stove. Couldn't afford gas. I had a gas cylinder, but it was provided by a cousin of mine. While I was moving from our place, she was like, no, shika tu ienda tu jipange nayo once in life. Even sufuria and all she gave me. Na sasa gas ikisha, I couldn't refill. Yeah. So mimi nikaendelea na life yangu ya gas. Ya nini, ya stove. So I used to see my dad buy paraffin in bulk. My dad is a teacher. So nile wanalipwa and then they go shopping. So
bulk shopping, everything.
5 liters cooking oil, 5 liters paraffin. Maybe shopping in bulk inaweza last for that
period until the next payday.
Exactly. So I took some of the treats from him. So I used to do the same. When I get some money, I buy things in bulk. So I used to buy paraffin in bulk. In 5 liters. Naeka kwa nyumba. Hata ile time una kakitu but uko na food. Ka cook for yourself and the lives. But paraffin yenye ilikuwa imebaki kwa nyumba that time was very little. So what she did was that time with that argument, I went back to sleep. So sleeping, nilikuwa naeka tu mattress chini. Nimeweka curtain which to separate now this. So it was like a single room, a mabati house actually. So nimeweka curtain so that it can separate from where we are seated, where we're cooking from, and then the bedroom. Then unaanika nguo kwa wall. Exactly. Imemwangalia tu misumari, inaeka kamba, that's when you put your clothes. So I remember very well that day. It was on a Wednesday. Ako kukua matchballs in my... Because I tried making myself breakfast, but sikupata matchballs. Exactly. At mafuta ilikuwa. So she told me that if she has to go, I have to give her some money. Haezi toka tu hivyo. Hana fare, hana nini, so that she can figure out mahali ataenda. Itu na ile tu pole yangu. I gave her 2,000 shillings. It was a lot of money that
It
time.
was. Hadi sahi mtu akipewa
I was being paid 6,000 shillings being a waiter, but I could make good money from my customers in terms of tips, nini. Wengine anakupea thumb change na mabuye back in your change, so I could save some money. So I had some cash flow kidogo, not that much, but ingeniweka tu at least na survive. So I gave her the two, like nimechoka, I just take this money and go. So kumbe the moment I gave her the 2,000 shillings, she went to buy a lunchbox. So she has already packed her belongings, of which it was just clothes. Si ati hata nilikuwa na vitu mingi kwa hiyo.
But at least you're surviving.
Yeah, but at least I was surviving. Because that was my second job in Nairobi actually. My first job in Nairobi was a security guard. After the security guard, someone saw you're young, you're doing this job. Let me hook you up with something else and do that. Can even give you the freedom to go and do some further studies.
Yeah.
So I gave her the 2K. Katoka akaenda kwa shop. So you can imagine the setup of where we were living. You cannot find a shop that actually will give you change ya town. And by then, matchbox was 3 shillings. So you can imagine walking into a shop with 1,000 bob to buy something worth 3 shillings. So she was not well known by the shopkeeper. But I was, me, I could go get a matchbox, ndalipa baadaye. Ananijua. So when she went over there, that is now the shopkeeper was telling us later that she came with her 1,000 bob. Akaitisha matchbox akamwambia ana change. And then the shopkeeper akamwambia, sasa unasema unaishi hapa na mimi sikujui. So she said anaishi kwa Sam. Ambiwa hapana. So akarudi hakuuziwa. So on our way back, she got to a neighbor's house. They were close with the neighbor. We were close, tulikuwa kama friends. So akaenda kwa neighbor akaomba matchbox. Of course,
zile rafiki yake neighbor anamjua.
So akapewa matchbox. So on our way back, because my house ilikuwa ya mwisho. Nikiwa ya mwisho, mlango ilikuwa on the side ya chini ya kuingia kwa nyumba yangu. So you could hear someone akikuja alafu akaingia kwa hiyo mlango. So alikuwa ametoka sasa kwa jirani ndani kwa nyumba akatoka. So like now where nimeweka my mattress iko close to the neighbors nini. So lazima upite mahali nimeweka mattress ukiingia kwa ndani. Exactly. So I overheard her akiambia that neighbor, mama wangu unajua unaweza ua.
Okay.
So it looked so casual. It looked like a joke, but I wish we took it seriously at that time. Because even Mama Mwangi was laughing at it. Like, unaweza uwe nini? Hata kuku unashindangwa kuchinja hapa. So mimi haikuni hit. I assumed.
So umelala tu.
Mimi nimepumzika tu kwa mattress tu. Actually nimesha change. Ndio niende job. Tuzikuwa niingia around saa 7. So on our way back, she was murmuring, saying things. So, they are now having a conversation with mwingine. To me, it is not hitting that I'm the one being referred in that conversation. So now she comes in, akachukua ile paraffin, akaeka kwa cup. I think it was a cup. Then she poured it on me immediately. And then akawasha. So immediately she did that, iliniingia kwa macho, iliingia kwa mapua, and then it was very irritating. So before I realized what was actually happening, mi nilifanya tu mkono hivyo, then nilishikanga sweater. Ilikuwa tu nimehang, then nikaanza kujipanguza because it was so irritating, and then that is the moment sasa aliwash it. So by the time I realized I was already burning. There was a lot of pain, there was a lot of confusion. Like I didn't know what to do as at that time. Then I don't understand whether it is her amefanya hivyo ama it is someone else, because I didn't see as at that time. But I could remember the episodes zote akikuja mpaka kwa nyumba and the way she was talking. So I can clearly say it was her. And then she ran away. Then nimebaki pale, mattress imewaka, my curtain imewaka, ile sweta nilikuwa nayo imewaka, nimeirusha imeshikisha nguo zingine yuko moto. Then in that state of confusion, you're burning. I had a nylon shirt. It is already stuck on my chest. So I'm trying to fight the fire. It's not working out. Nikatoka nje mbio. Nimepiga nduru. So neighbors have now come. They're trying to rescue me. So everyone akiona nimewaka anatoroka akipiga nduru. So the only option was to go back to the house na nijimwagilie maji. That's what I did. So nikachota maji, nikajimwagilia ikazimwaka, and then now that's when my neighbor was like, kumbe that chick was serious about what she was saying. Leto ashakimbia. Akimbizwa akashikwa na wase. She was brought back to the scene. She was beaten. A taxi was called. I was taken to the hospital. She was taken to Lolongo police station. And from there, that was the last time I saw her. Never seen her again.
Just give us a minute. So
that was it.
We never even had a conversation before she burnt you. Like when alitoka, alikuja tu kama amekuwa attacked. So don't even know where it came from. Because according to you, you say that you just gave her money to leave.
Yeah, and remember that early morning we were having that discussion. She was kind of threatening me, but I wasn't taking them seriously. Like, do you know what anaweza kuwa? Do you know I can do 1, 2, 3? It's like what I said earlier. I didn't see some of these red flags, and they were happening during our dating period. But I was just ignorant about them because I was blinded by love, of course. So those are some of the things I could have actually controlled at an early stage. But because now I think mapenzi ilini overpower, I just took everything so lightly to a point of ignoring even the risky things that could actually end my life. Yeah. So the threats were there, but I just ignored them. Ni sawa tu amesema hivyo juu ya command, you know, because of maybe how I've reacted to the situation also, you know, all that. But I wish I could have done something. I singekuwa in this situation that I am in today. But all in all, we'll move on.
So you're about what you went through.
So I was taken to hospital. I was admitted for 2 months with that degree burns. The burn management was not done that well. Then I developed what we call keloids and contractures. So nikapona vibaya, pona nikiwa the neck and the chest zikuwa zimeshikana, and also on my armpits zikuwa zimeshikana hivi. So now movement was very difficult for me. So I had now to start undergoing surgeries now to release now the contractures. It's like now reconstructing your body again to get to at least something that you can live with comfortably. And you know, the more I'm growing, the skin also needs to stretch. So those areas were hard, they couldn't stretch. So now that means probably after every year I was going for a procedure. So it happened, and then one time I decided now to follow up on this issue. The case now. Police came while I was in the hospital. Actually, before I was taken to the hospital, we passed through Lolongo police station. We used the same taxi to the police station and to the hospital.
So
yes, we started with the station, and then I was taken out to the hospital. So on reaching the station, the police were like, you should get this guy fast to the hospital, wacha tubaki na huyu. So they took her. And then they came later in that evening because I got banned at around 11:30 during the day. It was around 11:30, 11:45, somewhere there. So the police later in the evening, they came to the hospital where I was admitted. On reaching there, they found that I was now dosed in very strong painkillers that needed me to rest. So I couldn't, they were not allowed to talk to me at that time. And then as at that time, I've been taken to a private ward. So there's something they put over my body and then inafunikwa. Because singefunikwa then it was cold. So wanafunika hiyo part, unabaki hapo ndani kwa kishindo. So the only part that is remaining out is the head only. So they came and they were not allowed to talk to me. So they came the next day. Now they found that I am in a state that we can talk. They recorded everything. They even had recorders. They recorded my statement. They wrote it down, everything, and then they left. I remember seeing my mom crying a lot at time because it was not something easy for her to handle.
Even see.
And up to date, my mom feels bad about it. Even my dad. I know we never had a good relationship during my youthful life in terms of from maybe high school or through that time because maybe of one reason or the other. But I could feel that love of a parent and the pain of a parent. Kitu imeapenia mtoto wake. I up to date, I don't know what to tell them. I don't. My mom sometimes sits down and ananiangalia and you can clearly see there's something she wants to ask, but she can't. My dad tunakaa chini tunaongea na kule, yani msichana tu aliamua tu kuarifa hivyo, you know. And then at that time it triggers something that maybe I should have taken action when I could. Or maybe I should actually take action as at now, but I've moved on, you know.
Okay, so what happened when police came?
So police came, wakaandika na wakaenda. So after now I was discharged from the hospital.
2 months later.
2 months later.
Oh.
But you know, my dad and I decided now let's see what is happening. So unfortunately, we went to Mlolongo police. We were told the girl was released on a cash bail. Asking on what grounds? Okay, under the law, yes, that one is allowed. But on what grounds? The prosecutor never even alerted us. Nobody was alerted that there was an ongoing case. You know, our investigating officer also never told any of my family members. The people were concerned about the progress of the case. Nobody knew even where the case was being held. We knew it now when we went to Mlolongo police station. And then I was like, let me first get well, and then we can pursue the matter later. So one time, I went for my surgery. I was paying my NHIF like then. So NHIF paid my first procedure. I was scheduled for another procedure, which now NHIF declines, went to look for funds and all that. Luckily I got someone who paid. Actually, they paid all through from second to around the 8th procedure. They paid.
That many.
Yeah, they were that many. Because they were doing a lot of skin grafting. Sometimes you get an infection, you have to repeat the procedure. Sometimes the graft gives you a desired result on one side, and then it fails on the other side. So now you have to redo the other side, you know. So they're harvesting body parts and then putting them in that area. So between the second and the 7th procedure, my neck was a little bit raised and my arms were free. Could now move. No, then the chest was getting better, but it became very itchy, you know. It's like a foreign skin in an environment that is trying to adapt. So you have a lot of itchiness, you have to apply some oils, you know, a lot of medication in terms of pain, in terms of the skin just to get well.
How long did they know the processes take?
In terms of the procedures, okay, the first procedure was 3 hours. That was done in Kericho. It was done in Kericho, actually. The second one was also done in Kericho, took around 4 hours, 30 minutes. The last procedure that was done in 2023 was scheduled for 8 hours, but it took 12 hours. It was a very delicate procedure and a very expensive procedure also.
I think now this is the timeline from when you got burnt to when now
we started the procedures.
Just immediately after?
No. Because I was discharged in December 2012. My first procedure was done in April. Mind you, my then ex-girlfriend was released in February of 2013, while I was discharged from hospital at around December. So in January, I was still home, not following, but in February, she was released. But that February, I was readmitted back to the hospital. Okay? Because I had now started getting fresh blisters that you didn't know they're coming from where. I think nilikuwa najibwa and then, you know, so I had to be taken back to the hospital. So she was released during that period. So when looking at it I got banned in October, and within 4 months, hakuna kesi ishatupwa, kushatolewa judgment, kesi ishatupwa, there is no evidence.
So what was the judgment? There's no evidence?
There is no evidence. Within 4 months. I'm still hospitalized within the first 2 months. Let's say like the first 2 months, yes, I'm hospitalized. The third month, you go to Nyumbani and then I'm taken back. Not actually full month of January. So I'm taken back to the hospital. So the prosecutor, the investigating officer, have all agreed that there is no evidence. While the investigating officer literally came and saw me
On how you look.
on how I look. The same person aliniona nikiwa Mlolongo police station in a taxi nikiwa nimechomeka, but now there's no evidence. They went to the house, they took samples evidence. They took evidence of what was burnt. They took statements from the neighbors who saw what happened. The same neighbor mwenye alipeana matchbox gave a statement.
Ati yeye amepeana match.
Yeye ndo alipeana matchbox. Na alipeana matchbox out of good will. Akujua how it's going to be used. That you come and conclude that there was no evidence. Na kesi ikatu. But I still have the letters that I managed to get from the courthouse. So the process of the surgery is now begun. They were financially draining, emotionally drained, had a lot of traumas. I hated ladies. I couldn't even talk to my sisters. I was so mad at anyone who was a female. I was just mad at them. So now I have to go through counseling, therapy, which is very normal in terms of, I think nowadays the therapies and the counseling have improved. Those days you only told the biblical counseling that God loves you, which is very normal.
I know that, but please.
God loves you. So there's the reality that I need to live with. And there is what now maybe that God has created. Mungu alijua
everything happens for a reason.
But you still don't believe that enyewe. If Mungu alitaka ifanyike, mbona alitaka kama ananipenda? I questioned my faith. I questioned God. Sometimes I wish that ningekufa too. Like the pain was so much. Then my friends, when I had stopped picking up my calls.
Gosh.
It was just my mom and I. Only the two of us. Had no one else to call or to talk to. They all left. Then one day I told myself, the same sisters, I had two sisters. I have two sisters. The same sisters I'm trying to ignore. They're the people I really need to talk to. They were young, yes, but they could really understand. One of them was in high school. The other one was still in primary school, but almost finished.
Oh, you're the firstborn?
Yeah, I'm the firstborn. My family of 4. Can you imagine the disappointment I gave my parents?
And how old were you when you got burned?
I was 20.
Oh, it just
happened within that year that I knew the girl.
And
I
how
had known
long
her for 9 months.
9 months?
Yes.
You had dated for 9 months?
For 9 months.
Gosh.
Yes. So I appreciate my sister, the second born. She overheard some surgeries that were being done by an organization called Smile Train. Smile Train were doing free surgeries for cleft palates, for kids who have cleft palates. Then she was like, bro, I overheard something over the radio. I took this number for you. Please call them. Maybe they might be of help. And that's when we go to the sponsor now.
Gosh.
So I called them, I explained my situation. Then they were like, we don't do that, but you just come. So the first procedures were being done in Mwingi. I didn't go. So I called them, sikupata fare. And they told me the second one is being done in Kericho. Please avail yourself. So my mama akakusanya some amount of money. I went to Kericho. We went to Kericho and met them. They looked at me, they were like, this is not what we do, but let us talk to the doctor, to the surgeon. The surgeon was called, he came, assessed me, and I said, this is a very simple thing, we can do it. Then they had also sponsors. There are sponsors who pay them to do now the free surgeries for the cleft palate. So one of the ladies was like, I think I can take over this day. Anything that is needed, let me know. Anything.
God bless.
So nikafanya surgeries from the second one to I think the 7th one. And from there nikakuwa at least nimerudi stable. I got a job. So I started now paying for myself the procedures. Because you realize sometimes I had difficulties in terms of movement. Kutan, then nikikaa chini, there is position I have to sit so that I can be comfortable. And then I'm trying to hide watu wasinotice what is happening. Because I used to kujifunga scarves a lot. I used to wear gloves. Because I had not yet accepted myself. Became an addict. Drinking a lot of alcohol without care. Anything that itanilewesha, I don't care the brand. I don't care the content. It's just a matter of just get high to forget whatever happened.
At this point, you were living with your parents?
No, that time now I'm living alone. Nimepata kazi now. Reality imeanza kunihit pole pole.
Hebu tupeleke pole pole. No. Tumeacha umetoka hosi.
Yeah.
So kutoka hosi ulienda kuishi na wazazi wako?
Yes.
Okay.
Now kutoka kwa wazazi, after now the first surgery, nikaanza kujieka kidogo kidogo kivyangu. But after the second surgery, I got a job. So nikaanza kujieka mdogo mdogo as my sponsor was paying for the procedures. So actually,
ulipata job gani?
I became a sales executive for one of the biggest brands. Now it's not in the market, Nokia. They're now coming back again. The beauty about it is the position me in Kericho. So it was like, surgery ikibukiwa, it's easier for me. It's
easier for you. How did you get it? Ulikuwa umesoma ama? Because I remember ulisema ulimaliza form 4. Did you go back to school?
I had not gone back to school yet. What happened during that period, I got someone who paid for my computer packages. And during the same period, they paid for, I did a certificate in sales and marketing. By then, we used to have sales and marketing. Nowadays, there's nothing called sales and marketing. It's either sales or marketing.
Oh, marketing.
Yes. They're not combined anymore.
Actually.
So I did that one for 6 months. It was a very short course. So I was actually using that mileage.
To sales.
Exactly. Meaning to a sales. So they positioned me in Kericho, so it was easy for me to maneuver.
Nice.
Yes.
And things align.
Now things were now starting to align themselves. But you realize I was getting a salary, but I couldn't account for my salary. Yote ni ya kukunywa pombe. To a point of my boss was like, you need to go to rehab now. Luckily, I never stepped a foot to rehab. I had to control it myself. Then I have this cousin of mine who was also doing psychology, campus level. My cousin mwenye alikuwa anaishi na yeye. Now she started.
Mwenye alikupea gas.
Yes. So now she was like, you still my son, you know. Because pia amelelewa, part of her life amelelewa na my mom. So she's like my big sis now. So she was doing most of her practicals with me. So she was just trying to make me become someone different. And she managed. One day she called me and she said, we need to have a talk. You're not living the best of the life, and this is not what we expect from me, especially mtu kama mimi. I've seen you go through a lot of things. So I've seen you go through the procedures, hizo vitu zingine zote, but right now we need to talk. So then she told me, you see these scars that you have, you're going to live with them for the rest of your life. And you have to accept the fact that you have them and how you're going to live with them. You either accept yourself or you don't. And if you don't, then it becomes worse for you. So let us go through the process together.
Of accepting.
Talk to me. I'm not your sister. I'm not your cousin. Let's have a conversation. What do you feel? What you're going through? It was now the deep conversation that I never wanted, but she managed to pull it through with me. And we could talk hours. Sometimes I feel it is so uncomfortable. Naamka, you know. She's like, yeah, hapo ndo inafaa now. Let's now talk. We went through a process. It was a long process. I cannot clearly say up to date imeisha. We still talk. I still have my highs. I still have my lows. But when I feel that, hii imenilemea, I know I'm going solved. So we still have that discussion. So ikaendelea hivyo. Now in 2014, 2015, while I was at my workstation, I overheard a conversation over the radio about deadbeat dads, I don't know what, and then a lady called, and she's like, when alinieka ball, hata ananithreaten kuniua. And I could listen to the voice. I'm like, okay, ni kwa radio, but your sauti sounds familiar.
Allah.
I'm like, let me follow through this conversation, by the way. So akasema vitu sijui nini, the guy anamthreaten hata atamuua na mtoto, I don't know what, I don't know, story. Na huyo jamaa anafanya kazi nzuri. Someone had done a background check with me without me knowing.
Okay, wait. So you're the deadbeat.
Yes, I'm the deadbeat now.
Did you know that you had a baby?
Really? Didn't know.
So ukasikia kwa radio?
Nikasikia kwa radio and then I'm like, oh, watu wanakapitia huku nje. Sikumaliza wanao, I got a call.
From the radio? Feeder.
Yes, I got a call from Feeder. Oh, blah, 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 a lot of things. They are going to sue me. I don't know what. And then I'm like, now I can easily connect. So I went back, nikaongelesha my supervisor. Nikamwelezea what is going on. She told me, take leave somewhere. You told us your story. Just go settle this mess. Hii kitu isiku affect tena. Then, I think sometimes it's luck or God is still working in me. There's this client I used to handle while I was working for one of the big telecommunication companies. She was the resident magistrate Kericho Rockcots. So I called her. She was my frequent client. Sometimes when she had issues, she would call me and I was able to sort her out. And I called her, I explained everything, and she was like, I've been trying to ask you what happened, but now this particular time. So now are you ready to tell me? She told me I have a court session happening at 2:00. So make sure before 2:00 uko hapa tumemalizana. So I'm like, to access the chamber is very difficult. Niambia call this number atakuleta. So this bodyguard took me hopefully. Akakwambia tukakaa chini. Nikamwelezea kila kitu, ananiambia this is a very easy matter. She wrote me 3 letters. One letter nipeleke DPP. Si kutuma, you physically take it. Na uone imereceiviwa. The second letter, I take it to Noveco Court. And the third letter, we send it to FIDA. Na akanipea hizo bwana. Like now, ni aliziandika based on what I've told her and what is happening. Took the letters. Now that is when I took the letter to the office of DPP in Machakos, that's when now they gave me a response that hiyo kesi hata ilitupwa.
So na bado na kuna kesi.
Mimi nilikuwa nafikiria kuna kesi because now it is the state versus her. Not me. Mimi nafaa kwa pia kama witness. But sasa kesi ilitupwa juu hakuna witnesses. So by the time the Mlolongo police station guys were telling us that hiyo kesi ni kama iko hivi, they already knew what was going on. So they never told us. That's when now nilipewa the full documentation of hiyo kesi na kwa nini imetupwa na act yenye imeitupa. That act mpaka wa leo nimeisomanga sijawahi elewa, ati siwezi rudisha hiyo kesi kotini.
What is the act?
I'll send you the documents viangalie, sikumbuki vizuri.
Okay.
So when now I took those letters, FIDA was kind of ilijitoa. Because now, this now is something else. Yeah. It is not what we knew. It is something totally different from what we actually were told. Because part of the letter was, we have to review the case and then we begin from that point. We cannot overjump things and then there's something that becomes more important than the other. This was a life-threatening matter.
Yeah.
So we have to deal with it as it is. So I went back to Kericho. Now I start getting Facebook Messenger. It's like a spamming.
So wait, before you go back. So at this point when you are on leave, did you contact the lady and ask about the child?
I didn't even have her number. I didn't even know where she was. I didn't know anything about it. Okay? Now around 2016, she still had my number. I've never changed my number since then. Mi sijui alitoa namba yangu wapi ama bado alikuwa tu anaiti. She called me and said, we have a baby, blah, blah, blah. Naongea na nani kwanza? Because though you're telling me a baby and I know I was dating by then someone else. So I'm like,
so you shall move on.
I shall move on. So huyu ni mtoto gani? Okay, there's a period I lived a very messy life. I didn't care. Exactly. I didn't care about anything. So I was like, ama ni one of those girls tunakutana na juku kwa street, kwa club, But I'm like, no, I've always keep tabs na wengi. Kitu kama hiyo inge happen.
Ningejua.
Now this is strange.
So who are you?
It's like Lucy. Then I'm like, even my energy inakuwa drained.
Sorry.
Like, what do you want again with me? Like, blah, 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 blah. Nini story nyingi. I'm like, me, I cannot have this conversation with you. Wewe enda FIDA, enda mahali utaenda, tufanye DNA. Yeah, I'm ready to support my kid.
Yeah.
If at all it's your kid. Yeah, if at all it's my kid.
Yeah.
She hangs up. Nile sasa na call and text, threats, nini, I don't respond.
Threats tena.
And I don't respond.
Just like you, uko na trauma already.
Exactly. Now, 2023. It's 2023. Now after surgery. That's when now she sends me a Facebook messenger again. Hi, I miss you. And I'm like,
oh, I saw that on your TikTok.
What do you miss, honestly? She's like, are you really gonna ask me that question? And I'm like, yeah, I need to know. It's been like 13 years, but then it was around 12 years. It was 12 years. It's been 12 years. No communication, no physical. Hata ile mna bump kwa street TV,
What do you miss?
I remember there was a time I bumped her along Moi Avenue. You see, pale archives, there's a place most people would like to stay. Hapo wanakaaga sana, wakingojeana after classes and all that.
Yeah.
I think that was in 2018. I tried to erase that memory.
But again, you have a photo.
Me, I was walking. Then I hear someone calling me that Kaushago name. Then I'm like, huyu ni mtu ananijua sana ndani. Then I was on call. Nikamaliza call yangu. I sent it for then I turned back. It's her. This is like, hi, nilimwambia, I don't know what I can do right now, but would rather disappear from my face. And then immediately niliona giza. I think nilikuwa tu affected. Nilikaa chini mahali, I don't know. The hotel is called, we were just, kuna kahoteli kakuwa inaitwa Kilimanjaro Highlands. Nilikaa chini, soja, the security guy there realized, and he was like, unaumwa na kichwa? Nikamwambia, sijui, but I'm just feeling weird. Nikamuuliza, can I trust you? Nikamwambia, shika hii simu, this is my password. Call Gideon. Gideon now is that friend of mine when I did. Alikutanisha na udem. Gideon has a shop along Moi Avenue Electronics. Ambia, call Gideon, please mweleze mwambie anikujie hapa. Na ukae na hiyo simu mpaka afe. And that's what happened. Gidi came, took me, kanipeleka home because we live in the same store. Sisi wote. Nikitoka job nilikuwa napitia kwake, then tunaenda home jioni together. Gidi came, picked me, nikaenda kwa shop yake, nika-relax, tukatoka jioni, we went home. So I narrated the story to Gidi. Like, I wish you told me what happened earlier, nikuje, bro. So that was the last time I actually literally saw her. But it was out of ile bumping too. And then 2023, now after my surgery, that's when now she's texting me, she miss you, doing blah, blah, blah. So me, I sent her my photos while in theater. The bad ones. Because we had a photographer who was doing that for us. He picked zile photos and used this word. Umechinjwa to a point of you cannot recognize who is that person. My neck is fully exposed. This leg here is fully exposed. Then I sent to her. And nikamuuliza, what exactly do you miss there? Because that was me 3 weeks ago in theater. And now you miss me. I would rather have that from my ex. Or mwisho than you. And then she's like, you're not even ready to have a civil conversation with me. That thing hurts.
You're not ready to have a civil conversation? Yes, this is me telling you what.
That thing hurt. That statement. Kaka chini nikajiuliza, am I a failure?
You're not.
What did I do to deserve all this?
Nothing. You did nothing.
Every time I'm asking myself, should I just pack, literally look for this girl and struggle her? So niko tuna a lot of questions, a lot of things going through my mind. I was at my cousin's place. I hung out a lot with her. When I showed her the messages, she told me that you've actually triggered something that I've always wanted you to do. So don't ask yourself a lot of questions. It is hard to ask yourself those questions. But I'm still asking, kwani nini nilikosa ndo nifanyiwe kitu kama hii? She didn't respond. And she was like, the last message she sent was, you can as well go ahead and block me. And I'm like, you even provoking me.
Oh, no, many tests.
And that actually my last statement was like, did I even start the conversation? You did. So you're the one to block me if you feel that I'm doing something bad. And I got to hear. From that time, I never heard anything from her.
And that was in 2023.
That was in 2023. And then that's when we met. So going back to my surgeries, they were very, very, very delicate, very, very expensive. My 13th surgery actually almost karibu ilitoa uhai.
Your 13th?
My 13th. We went to a facility. They told us they're able to do that procedure. Because now I had started developing another contracture here, which was actually very, very... Sika make movement ikakuwa hard and then ikajikunja hivi. So most of the time would find me niko hivi ndo nikuwe comfortable. But now you see the type of people I meet every day because of my 8 to 5 work is they lose the focus. Now they start like, what happened to this person? So we cannot have a conversation yenye ni business wise. So I had to go for those surgeries. Nipende nisipende. Sometimes when I'm driving, it is difficult for me to use even the side mirrors. It's like I have to move the whole of my body, you know. So it's also a risk to me and the other road users. So that was another point for me to get to that surgery. So that facility told us that they're able to do that procedure. They're going to release the contractor. They actually recommended we do a skin graft. But I told them, I've done a lot of skin grafts. Can you guys just do something different? Because skin grafts every now and it's like every year I have to do 2 or 3 surgeries. So can we do something different? Can you guys just tell me something different? No matter how expensive it is, nitatafuta pesa. Then they called in a plastic surgeon on the day of the surgery. So I had no prior history with this surgeon, the plastic surgeon. So to him, he was using the history of my visits at hospital. So we meet at theater with this surgeon. Nishavalishwa gown and everything, and then
someone new.
And then I meet the surgeon and I'm like, I don't think we've met before. Because me, I like to familiarize myself with anyone who is going to deal with me medically. Napendaga kumjua sana. And he's like, we've also not met, but I have a file. So he comes, okay, so what have you guys decided to do with me? He told me,
hata umejua kenye unaenda kufanya.
Yes.
Gosh.
He's like, I'm going to do skin graft. Nikamwambia, no. He told me, okay, tell me your story now. So now we sat down again kwa theater. So I narrate to him everything. The professor is like, then I don't think a skin graft is worth my attention right now. What we need to do is to do something called a full flap. So we lift a tissue from your hand. We don't disconnect it from its vein. We just rotate it tuiweke hapa ipite na veins zake hapa. So once imeshika, that's when we separate. Then I'm like, you are the surgeon, you know the best. Yeah. But if you feel that one is going to be best for me, then let's do it. Then we did the procedure. It took 6 hours. I took a theater. My cousin was there. Na bwanake. My friends were there. My fiancé was there. Some other colleagues were there also. And some other past friends. And then the hospital failed to manage my pain. 100%.
Okay, when you're feeling the...
was in a lot of pain. I didn't know what to do. I don't know where the pain is coming from, like the whole body.
Yes.
Nasikia imekatwa. Then the surgeon already ashamaliza kazi yake is gone. So now it's about how the hospital to do the managing. The wards are from first floor. Going. Now they tell me the lift is not working. I have to walk. I'm telling you. I got to a point, I told the nurse, do you have something that can just make me go forever and forever? Like, I don't want to even see my family suffer. Because now to them it has also started to create an emotion. Imeanza kuwapea trauma. Because hakuna dawa sijadungwa na menpe. So I had to gather my energy, nikajipandisha stairs, nikashikiliwa, nikaenda nikalala. So that moment nimelala, my family and friends now left. Do you know I bled from 3 a.m. to around 4 asubuhi? I was in a pool of blood. And then, sasa blood inatoka from the part yenye ilifixiwa. That free flap now. And then when they noticed that, they came and I think we need some of these medical expert doctors and whatever need to be vetted again. These guys came and stitched the veins. So there is no flow of blood. I started to have a backflow of the blood. Nikapatwa na condition inaitwa hematoma. Nikaanza kufura mwili because of the blood flow. So my fiance, when she came to check on me early morning, she was denied access because they knew what was going on. So they were trying now to sort it out. Sina nguvu hata ya kupiga simu, hata ya kufanya anything. Naongea, but there's nothing coming out of my mouth. So she forced herself in. She literally did. When she came, she was like, I didn't leave this man like this yesterday. So you have to tell me what happened. And if you are unable to sort it out, you give us a referral to hapa. And they're like, no, we have it in control. We have it in control. I don't know, we've called so and so. She called the surgeon. Kamambia paibu shida. This is what is going on. The surgeon said he cannot make it to the hospital, but he's sending a representative. I love that surgeon to date. He did. He sent someone. It was a doctor. I think she was called Dr. Kristin. When she came, she did a very few things within 15 seconds. And everything came back to normal. And the pain stopped. And now the pain comes to relief. And then I was recommended new medications and all that. The surgeon recommended I get discharged from that facility. I get to his facility now. Because now he realized that his work is going to be like washed away. Even through na ni kazi ameifanya na amelipwa a lot of money. So he was like, no, this is not going to happen. So I was discharged, nikaenda kwa facility yake. After 3 days, the part that was already harvested from here, it died. So now I have to go through another procedure. Okay. It completely died. Okay. So I have to go through another procedure, a cleaning procedure. Now they move the whole part again. Nifanyiwe cleaning, ibaki open, and then they get funds, they get to another procedure. So he clearly told me, I still love that man to date. He clearly told me some procedures I can't do, but I'll consult my professor. He came with this professor. Then the professor was like, yeah, this one we can do. He's one of the best plastic surgeons we have in Kenya, Dr. Kahiga. He assessed the situation and told me, now, we are going to do the last procedure to you. And if that fails, never. We will have now, I don't know what to do, but I can assure you, it's a delicate procedure. It's a very complex procedure, but we are going to do it. They gave me a quotation of 1.2 million. So now I have to go back. After pesa ukiwa na kidonda. And tulikuwa vizuri some 2-3 weeks ago. We looked for financing, we took loans, we did all we could to raise some money. We got around 800,000. We deposited, he said, I can work with this. The balance will pay me, pole. We went to the hospital, it's called WCND. I got admitted for a day. The procedure was supposed to be done on Friday. The surgeon said, Dr. Kaiga came and told me I'm not ready to do this procedure. And I asked him why. I asked him why. He told me he's tired and he never wants to attend to any of his patients, especially on when it comes to surgeries, when he feels his body is not okay. He'd rather attend to one patient a full day. Then I'm like, doctor, ni sawa, mi sitakuforce. When you're ready, on Saturday tutafanya hiyo procedure. Saturday came, I'm still in the hospital. Saturday came, nimevalishwa gown, nimeanza kukua scared because now I know it's a procedure around 8 hours but it's gonna take around 12 hours. Nimevalishwa gown, and I don't know who came up with these procedures. Or even if you can walk, you have to be wheelchaired to the theater. So now put on the wheelchair, nimeskumwa mimi huyo theater. I tell my family, see you guys on the other side of life, baby. They're like, no, don't say that. Like, you just have to be ready for anything. I'm taken to the theater. Okay, before theater, they did a little test because now they needed to harvest a muscle now, not a tissue, a muscle. And that muscle has to move with its veins, arteries, and everything. So they did testing, they marked all these areas from here all the way to here. Then they harvest. Now, after the testing now, ndio niende theater iende hii. Itolewe sasa. Inekwa me, I don't know what happened after that, umelalishwa. There's nothing I know about it. So niliingia theater around saa 8. Kwa tuka theater around saa 6 ya asubuhi. Sasa nilikuwa natolewa theater. I know within saa 8 kupelekwa, we spend another 2 hours pale tu. Just talking with anesthetists, talking with the theater nurses, nini, waiting for the surgeon apene go ahead. Sasa mnaweza mlalisha, that's the word they use. Mlalisha. So we're just interacting with them. So I think they were just trying to make me feel in a safe environment and very comfortable. Yeah. So they did it. Me the next day, that's when I woke up. And then I'm like, where am I? Because my mind is still kind of confused. So I'm like, where am I? And my fiance is like, we are still here for you. No, they're cheering me up. You did it, bro. And I'm like, no, there's a manijibu. Where am I? What does it get? So they're like, everything is okay. So now the doctor comes and then now this part you see here is now whatever was harvested from my right thigh. And then the doctor comes in, they prick, then they say, "Iko fresh, it's warm." So it means there is progress. Whether like you still have like a week kulala na mgongo peke yake. You're not supposed to turn, chakula ni fluids too, kidogo kidogo, Melala na mgongo 1 week and part on blisters, They are then you are so uncomfortable because you can't turn. You're not supposed to turn. There are angles you're supposed to be put. Ikaish katoka nikiwa salama. And that's why I'm here.
How long was that?
That was in 2023 October, November. We have one pending procedure, which is now to do the flattening of this area because it's kind of also creating an attention. So we need to do a liposuction, we flatten here. Then we release. If you can clearly see this part, it is also very tighter. It has developed another. Okay, these are parts of after surgery complication. Then this one is prior to happen because of the nature of the bangs that I got. Exactly. Then also they release this part also from this area, and then one from this area, so that now this part becomes free, and then we do a liposuction so that it flattens. That it is not easily noticeable. So that has been my journey for your life. The last 14-15 years. And in an inch of 1 second, 2 seconds, everything changes. Exactly. Then you have to live with this for more than 10 years. Exactly. Something that I have accepted myself that it happened. Yeah. I have to live with it. But sometimes the trauma get real. Yeah. I try my best to avoid things that will trigger that. Also try not to find myself angered. I might make some very, really bad decisions. But also getting someone who will live within that and walk with you that journey is not an easy thing. Yeah. Actually, that is what I wanted to ask. You have really mentioned your fiancé, and I don't think you told us how you guys met. And did she know your story? How did she take it? And how did you guys now propose to each other? And
Where are you right now in life?
We met at our workplace. I was actually her supervisor.
Yeah.
But I saw more than that. But it wasn't easy for me even to tell her what actually happened. Because previously, I've never dated after that. But you tell someone and then they're like, they use it against you. You know, others were not really understanding that part. They're like, apana, there must be something you've done. I know there's always that notion. For something like this to happen, you must have done something else. So no one was believing my story. No one was like understanding me. No one was taking the story and they're like, such things do happen for real. Mind you, my first love, sijui kama kuna word virginity kwa wanaume. I had never had any other woman in my life except her.
She was the first one.
She was the first one.
And you're 20.
I didn't even know whether there's something called cheating. I was so naive to even get to understand some of these things.
But you do this with someone else?
Exactly, like you do this with someone else. Like how? You know? So when we met, I didn't tell her. We started dating, on, off, until one day I'm like, oh, I think this is the right person for me. Because she was very questioning. And I like, okay. Now she started to learn how to handle me. Sometimes I would get from work because we didn't work on Saturdays by the time. Naweza toka job Friday nirudi Sunday. Then she's like, where have you been by the way? Silo unaulizwa na ubaya. But you get to get, why am I even doing this? Why am I even going out with my buddies? Hata sijali with someone in
ilikuwa during that time, yeah.
Yes, during that time. And I'm like, hey, this is the right person now for me. Siulizi hiyo maswali nili ukanda. Si ati nimefanya intentionally. It is just in me. Mi najuanga Fridays tukitoka job. Tumeenda kwa fulani, tuende kwa fulani, tupige road trips, you know. Hata kupiga uko poa, yes, good. That's all. Then it gets to a point where unajita kama mkutano, you like, I think I'm pushing away the people who mean a lot to me and they care a lot. Then one day we sat down tukaongea like me understanding. You have traumas, you have issues.
Because she knew your story.
You can always talk to me, When we started now having those conversations, she understood me well to date. So anytime I tell her, you go even she's like, daktari alisema umeanza nini? That.
She understands. She knows your journey.
Yeah, we've walked the journey through with her, so I really appreciate her. Yep.
God bless her soul.
Thank you.
So, do you think where you are, you have forgiven whoever did this to you?
I think it's only God who can respond to that. As much as I can say he knows me better, as much as I question him a lot sometimes. I have my highs, I have my lows. The times I'm moody, the times I'm happy, the times I don't want just Nico to, you just there. There are times I feel that I should have done something, or the courts could have done something, the prosecution team could have done something, my friends could have done something, maybe to protect all this. But personally, I feel I have forgiven her. It's only that now, for the last 2 years, she has started to provoke me. So I feel that my humbleness, my being a good person is costing me a lot. To a point of it's even taking away my peace. It's even making me regret. Not personally taking matters in my hand. But I feel at some point, because if I do you wrong, I expect you come to me remorseful. I expect you come and tell me, I'm sorry, I did this and this, and I'm really, really sorry. Can you forgive me? But you cannot just come back and make demands. Or you make it look like it was okay with what I did. So, right now, I don't know. But I sometimes feel, yes, kusamehe. I know you've started to trigger me back to the same episodes again. So,
Has she ever apologized?
Never.
When she reached out?
Never. Yeah. And I don't think she will, even from the last chats that I posted. I don't think she will. and I don't need an apology.
Yeah. So I understand you're still in the recovery journey. What has been the hardest part about recovering?
The traumas.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people have gone through a similar ordeal. When I started talking about my story, this is not only about me. I realized a lot of people, not only men, even women, have gone through a similar ordeal or something close to that. And they're afraid of talking about it. And some of them come to my DM. Like, I wish I had the courage that you have. Then I tell them, you have the courage, it's only that you are afraid of how people are going to take it in the comment section.
Kenyans wanaweza kuroast.
Sometimes I go through my comment section. Nacheka tu.
Wanakurosting hadi wewe?
Yes, I get a lot of.
What did they say?
There's a time I went to another page. I can't remember its name well, and then I just gave out just my point of view. Then someone was like, "Ndio maana ulichomwa if this is how you think." And I'm like, kuchomwa na comment yangu
Kiwa
na
Kenya.
post yako zina relate aje? Another lady was like, ingekuwa ni mimi, ninge make sure umekufa kabisa, like ningekudress kwa acid nikumalize na can you just deal with your issues and stop dealing with other people's problems, because that is clearly someone who have their issues with their boyfriend, husband or whatever. So it's not about me. It's about
they're
them.
projecting.
Exactly, they're projecting something. So sometimes I read them nacheka, some of them I respond, some of them I even like. I'm like, dude, wewe tu ni shauri yako, but I'm just trying to create awareness. Just go heal. You have problems. There's a certain lady who came to my inbox. There are 4. There are many, but the 4 I sampled out. And then one of them got a skin condition. Actually, it's not burns. It's a skin condition. I don't know what it's named. So she's peeling off. She turned skin tone. It changed. Then she looks kind of, in quotes, scary. Then she has a boyfriend and they have a kid. And that guy just vanished without telling her anything. And then she was like, I'm going through this, blah, blah, blah. I told her, can you talk about that condition? See, the doctor told you this is the condition. Talk about that condition. She got a sponsor. Her medical expenses are now taken care of. Then Juicy, she called me and she's like, my boyfriend wants to come and I told her, fala wewe. Fala wewe. Yes, right now, when things are now getting better, that's when this person wants to come to you. Where have they been for the last 5 years?
After you cried or
they never told you where they are going. They just left and they were kind of. So I'm not looking at, I'm healing and I'm helping other people heal also.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tell my story to encourage people, not for people to take my story and use it against me. Anyway, it's up to you how you want to use it. But at the end of the day, I feel good that I have talked about myself and someone actually came to me and told me that this and this has happened, what can I do? Or when I find myself in such a situation, what can I do? So I feel, yes, I'm healing and I'm helping other people heal, because healing is a journey. It is never a one-stop thing or something that will happen today and then tomorrow you forget about it. Especially in a scenario like this one. We always have to keep on going back to therapy. You need to have the right people around you. You need to talk to the right people, not just people who will just brush off things. Yeah.
And healing is not linear. You'll not just wake up and...
Exactly. It's not.
Lazima ikuwe na bumps and
It's
bumps
not.
and bumps.
Yes.
As we wrap up this conversation, I think I've learned a lot, especially medical wise. Kuna vitu mingi hata sikuwa najua it's never happened Kenya. But I am glad that you have shared your story.
Sure.
As we wrap up, what is the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your journey?
You will always have friends, but you will always have limited friends. People will always claim to be your friends. People will always claim to be in love with you. People will always claim to be there for you. But it's at that moment when that episode or that thing now happens, that is when you realize how true people you have. We are on our own, especially men. Just be honest. Because it is expected to be the other way around. Okay? Like, when I try to talk to some people before I started the therapies and the counseling, it is always about you are a man, you can figure it out. But by the time a man or even a lady comes to you and asks for a solution, they have explored every other avenue. Na imefika mwisho. So now they just need to hear another different side of how I can handle this. But you're telling me I'm a man. Man up. Stop crying. This is crap. You can figure it out. By the time I came to you, figure out. Or maybe the options I have are actually damaging. Our episodes are processes that will make me regret later, but I don't want to do that. That's why I came to you. But you brushing, that is causing the biggest mental health in this country. The other lesson I've learned is Kenyans on the comment section are the biggest contributors of mental health in this country.
Say that again.
We are the biggest contributors of mental health to ourselves, not even to the person whom you responded to. But how we respond really creates a different image of you as the person who is commenting. It also creates another overview from even when I read that comment, what it projects in my mind. There are some I read and I'm like, some of these people should have not even been born. But I cannot respond to you that way. I just take it and digest it pole and I'm like, yeah, me, I'm past that. But the way we respond, the way we bully people because of their conditions, you see someone is crippled and they're just talking about their story on social media and then you on the comment section, it's just like, I don't know. I read sometimes I cry. And then I tell myself, Sam, nifile tu mtu wezi shika upige ngota. But you feel that was not the right way to approach it. We know, but Kenyans, we lack what we call respect. Even to the people living with the disabilities, we don't.